Good afternoon, fans of the Ball and Pickle. You are looking live at court number 1 from Wagon Wheel Tennis Center in Coppell, Texas, home of the first annual Texas Open Pickleball Championships. My name is Craig Bell with Tex-Mex Productions, and riding shotgun on the broadcast with me is my fellow pickleball colleagues, Sarah Ainsbury and Christine Barksdale. Welcome to Wagon Wheel and the Texas Open, ladies. How are we doing today?
We are doing fabulous. You know, I'm pretty excited to be here in Texas. I got in late last night, but excited to be here watching this singles match we've got started.
We are in a continuation match between mother and daughter. We're having bragging rights. Ultimate supremacy is being weighed by the Waters family right here.
Leigh Waters, and you got Leigh on the other side over there. Is 11 years old. So they're already in midway in the first game, and this is Leigh Waters' first time playing singles. She's having fun with it.
And this is the semifinals in this bracket, right?
Absolutely.
So mother and daughter met each other a little bit early today.
They did, and you know, Leigh was excited about this. She was ready to. 2 or 3 matches ago, she saw the draw, and she was looking forward to playing her mom.
So Sarah, do you have a little bit of history on these players?
Yeah.
So both these players, they're a little bit of a tennis family, but what I like about it, they don't, you know, Lee's 11 years old. She's a phenomenal tennis player and pickleball player, but she's also a soccer player. A lot of people don't know she's going to Spain next year, actually, with her local team in Florida. So she's a midfielder. She loves soccer, and they're playing the Dannon Cup. So the best team in Florida, she's on playing soccer.
Sounds like she's a really fine athlete.
She is, and just such a nice kid, too.
She is a nice kid.
Yeah.
You know, I always found, after coaching tennis for a little while, I found soccer players to be my favorite players. Because you know why? They move their feet.
That's true.
They have outstanding footwork, and I bet we're going to see a little outstanding footwork by her today.
And you got a lot of that team. When you have those multiple sports and you have a kid that plays a team sport versus only playing a sport where as an individual, you get a different personality sense and a different sense of competition. So, you know, you could see that Annalee's very much like that. She thinks of the whole rather than the one.
So we're getting back to action here.
So Annalee won the first game. And I'll look at that.
That's a great
She's got a great ball. So it's a little heavy on that wind. It doesn't look like it right now. But I think that ball's sitting down a lot. Both of them have so much power. I mean, they'll put that 2 hands on there. You don't actually see a slice a lot from Leigh. It's usually she's going to try to rip that ball with 2 hands, but she's playing smart. She knows how to play. The benefit here is tennis players have a tendency to ease into singles a little bit better. It's a little more comfortable than doubles. And Leigh played Division I college at South Carolina all 4 years, so she's a phenomenal athlete as well.
We're having a little trouble over in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Good thing we're not here or in South Carolina today. We might be 15 feet underwater.
Well, my family's there, so well, my dogs and my wife are there, so I'm hoping that it's going to pass over a little bit. So
nice down the line
that's
shot.
Really good ball. You know, you'll notice both these players, when they're hitting those drives, they really pin those lines really well, and they put a lot of depth on the ball.
You know, it gets back to what you were talking about, you know, being a tennis player transfer. When they first come into pickleball, really, it's much more natural transition for them.
Yes.
And you'll see that a lot out of both these ladies today.
Well, and Annalee has played a little bit more singles than Leigh, for sure. So you'll see, actually, Annalee's more comfortable going forward than Leigh is. And so she's really having to force her way coming in. That's probably one of the harder things, is getting to the net for a lot of players. Looks like she just rushed through that ball, caught it a little bit late.
Well, we're glad to have everybody on the United States Pickleball Association Facebook page. Share it with the friends. We go all over the world with this thing. This is a great telecast. Looks like we've got quite a few people watching right now, 47 out there. Shout out from Coppell, Texas. Thank you all for paying some time with us here this afternoon from Coppell, which is a suburb of Dallas, just a little bit north of Dallas, right by the airport. Fortunately, there aren't many planes in the runway right now coming over us.
Yeah, this is actually a really nice facility. It's the first time you've got 4 permanent courts in front of you right now, which is fantastic. And the courts around us are all taped. We had a lot of volunteers coming out and taping those lines.
We have right at 300 players playing in this first annual event. That's amazing, isn't it, to be able to get that kind of turnout?
It really is.
Shout out to Jean Stasi and all of her great volunteers. What an excellent effort that they put forth. I know they've been planning this thing for several months. It's been a long time planning. Looks like we had a timeout.
We have a
for-
timeout.
for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, Leigh is up in this match. I believe she's up 6-1 in the second game. Anna won the first game. Is that correct?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
And you can see it. I think it has a lot to do with the side right here. For sure, when you're playing singles, side is so much more important than doubles. You can kind of get away with some stuff in doubles that you can't get away with in singles when you have a little bit more heaviness on that wind on that side. So both of them have a lot of heavy spin. They swing with those two hands. They swing from that shoulder. So that ball's dipping down really quick. And
Oh, just real quick, check the camera right there. Say hello to everybody. There's Sarah, Christine, and Craig.
Hello, everybody.
there we are.
From here in the booth. I want to make sure I
Right.
get to say hi to John Germstad, one of my favorite USAPA live air stream guys.
there we go. I just said hello to John, but it looks like it's under Lynn's name. So hi again, John. Nice. So you can, look how controlled Leigh is up at that line, though. I mean, she's so much taking her time.
She looks very
She's
relaxed
loose
up there.
and relaxed. She's not rushing around. She's not panicking. You know, she's really in control of that, which is what you want in singles at the line. You want to be able to see the court, and you want to work that person at the baseline. You don't want to allow them to pass the ball.
So what do you think is the most important strategy in singles for players maybe just getting started, Sarah?
You know, for simplicity's sake, it's all about a deep serve and a deep return. It's allowing the ability to come forward. That's all it is. So with that serve, you're making it more difficult on your opponent to hit that deep return so that they don't want to come in. And with the return, it's all about getting forward, just like Leanne is doing right now. Look at how she was able to come in.
Ooh, nice passing shot.
that's a
Great
beautiful
angle shot. Beautiful shot.
And I'd say that difference was she had a great approach shot, but then she kind of hesitated on that next ball, and it was a little short. So I think if she would have pinned that ball back to that baseline on the backhand side, it would have been a totally different point.
She opened the angle up by going for that
Absolutely.
short cross court, and you know, she underestimated the speed of her mother, I believe,
Yeah.
on that one.
I mean, I got to tell you, I'm always impressed when I'm on the other side of Leigh because I'm surprised with how much pace she has behind that ball. And you can see, so both shots, Leigh just missed some unforced errors, and that really has to do a little bit of her tennis style. She's bringing the paddle face over the ball a little bit too quickly, which is something a lot of tennis players tend to do. But with the way that our ball is, it comes down too quickly. So you really need to open up the face of that paddle to get that depth and net clearance.
To drive it a little bit deeper in the court.
Yep.
So we've got, and for anybody that might just be joining us, we've got Anna Leigh Waters playing her mother, Leigh Waters. And she won the first game, and she is down in the second, 3-9.
Yeah. I mean, Leigh's playing so well right now, I got to say. She's smart. I mean, it all comes down to the experience. I mean, Anna Leigh's such a fantastic athlete. She's out there, and she's having fun, and she loves what she does. But, you know, Leigh's had a little bit more experience in competitive play. And I know that Leigh's hating this a little bit right now.
Nobody wants to play their daughter.
Yeah.
But you
That's
know
just
what?
smooth contact.
Really, that come back to the greatness of pickleball, that you
Yeah.
can see a mother-daughter out there playing against each other in a very competitive match.
Crazy, yeah. It's something you don't really see much in other sports. You have families that get involved here, and you know, my mom's just starting to play. I think she's playing her first tournament this month.
Hopefully not in South Carolina.
Not in South Carolina.
No, she's back in Oregon still, right?
She is.
Washington, technically.
Washington,
or-
Oregon, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm at Palmetto Dunes in Hilton Head now, and we just broke ground last week
And
on
looks
8
like
new courts.
We've got a second
game.
game
Second
here,
game.
so we're going
Going
to
to
go into
three.
game 3.
Game 3.
So I actually think that Leigh has the benefit here of the side because she'll finish on the side that they both won on.
Right.
Yes, it does seem like it doesn't look like wind is a factor out here, but it apparently is because it's
is.
definitely impacted this game.
Yep.
Also want to shout out to Mike Hogg, our referee, calling the lines right there for us, giving us the score. He's over in the orange.
No,
Sure.
that is
Nope.
Rick Hobson.
Oh, is that Rick?
Rick Hobson.
Well, they gave me they switched.
They switched out
Wow.
referees on you a little bit ago. That is Rick Hobson
That is, okay.
from Tennessee.
Yes. And I got to say, he's one of our best volunteers and refs. I always love having Rick on the court. And he played doubles today as well. So just goes to show how much we need our volunteers in these events.
So shout out to Rick.
That's Rick Hop. There you go.
I want to give
I
a
didn't-
shout out to Joe McCoy, who just joined us. He's watching from Granada, Spain.
Wow, I
Wow.
like
That is fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Joe.
We go all over.
Yeah.
Tex-Mex Productions, we've been all over the world. We've
I
been
love
in
it.
all 50 states, probably 50 countries. Glad to be out with the Pickleball folks today from Coppell, Texas.
Well, and Spain is growing immensely in pickleball as well as we speak. They're adding more and more courts and more events. I mean, worldwide, we're just spreading out all over, which is fantastic.
Fastest growing sport, almost racket sport probably at least.
Yeah.
At the moment, there are a lot of sports out there, but I think this is the fastest growing, what I've read.
I'm looking forward to going out to Spain and meeting some of their players next year. They just need more courts. That's always the issue everywhere.
Is there a team competition, world competition that's going on in Spain, or are you just going over been invited over?
Just grow a little bit of pickleball. That's all it is. It's always about that growth. So I got to say, I just saw a lightning strike right behind. Yeah. Oh, and there's some thunder.
There it is right there.
Thunder.
Wow.
So we're doing okay. Lee's a little concerned, but I think it's okay.
I think we're hitting a little of that weather that's hitting on the East Coast. We're lucky.
Yeah. Okay.
Really.
Look at that great ball.
And we have a storm alarm.
It's a storm alarm, so we will have to pull inside, and I'm guessing that last point's not going to count.
Well,
folks, look like we're going to be taking a break here.
Yes.
Well, sorry about that. We just got going. We're having a good conversation. Had a good match going. We're in the third game, but we're going to have to take a little break for a second. So come back and join us here in a little bit from the USA Pickleball site.
All right, here we are in Coppell, Texas.
Coppell, Texas.
Wagon Wheel Tennis Club.
Wagon Wheel Tennis Club. We'll be back shortly. All right, fans of pickleball, we are back. The rain delay is over. Christine's here with me. Oh, here comes Sarah, right there too. There she is.
Snuck in.
Here, if you want.
Oh, here you
sit
go.
down. Oh, okay. Yep. Just heading back here into action.
We're resuming this match after a storm delay. We have Leigh Waters playing her mother, Leigh Waters.
Yeah. So game 3 right now. And I think they've already switched sides, right?
They have. They just did. They just switched sides.
So what we need to do is get a listen and see if we can hear the score from our fine referee, Rick Hobson.
Let's see. We're at 1-7.
Oh,
yeah. So that's 2-7.
And what we actually think here is we might have seen a little wind shift, but we have seen that the end that Leigh is on is a little bit easier to play.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. You know, it hasn't. The skies are a little bluer now behind Leigh a little bit as well,
which is a good thing.
Yeah, a little more sun.
Oh, we've got a USAPA regional director here watching it, Joe Borelli.
All right.
Oh, shout out to Joe.
Let's see that. You know, even just how it's so nice to see kids playing because they're so loose and they're so, you know, they don't have all the years of trying to adjust and play. You just see how loose her swing is when Leanna's swinging through that. Anna Leigh, sorry.
Anna Leigh.
And, you know, the grandmother is named Anna.
Which is great.
That's hard to keep up with everybody, isn't it?
When they're all together, you just, say one name and you're good to go. But, you'll often see all three of them. They're just a really close family. They're always at events together, and Leigh is always watching Anna Leigh's matches. It's just nice to see families just like we always see in pickleball. It's what Chris was saying earlier, how you have mothers and daughters and fathers and sons and grandparents. That's a second volley that Anna Leigh has missed as she's come in. She's hitting some really nice approach shots.
She's catching that ball a little behind her, it looks like to me.
She's kind of coming in a little too fast.
Oh, that would have been a great curve ball. Just curved just outside of the court.
Yeah, she just, you could see the demeanor that Leigh has on the other side of the court. She's so calm and loose and relaxed. She's got a little bit of experience behind these matches. Where Anna Leigh's super athletic, but she gets a little hyper out there. She wants to move.
She just tried to help her mom make sure she got to the right side. She wasn't trying to trick her.
Yeah.
But what good sportsmanship to make sure, you know,
Yeah.
she's not letting her opponent just start serving on the wrong side of the
Yeah.
court, which is a good thing to do, especially when it's your mom.
Exactly.
Well, they're going to have to ride home together probably. aren't they?
Yeah.
So, nice.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're going to be together a little bit. And actually, they're playing together on Sunday in the women's doubles event.
We've got 300 players right at in this event for the first annual. That's an amazing event that
Yeah.
for the first time to get this kind of an event in the
Oh my goodness.
Texas area.
You know, I do strongly encourage people to come to this event next year.
Oh, yeah.
The facility is fabulous. We do have a lot of taped off tennis courts, but you know, there's a lot of great green space here. It's just has a really nice feel to this event.
There's a lot of space. A lot of
Yes.
times you have courts right on top of each other, and there's not really a place to watch. But this facility, it's really nice and spread out, and I know they're working on improving. Oh, ball went on the court. That's just got a bump. Yeah.
What a bad timing for Anna. Did you see the expression on her
Yeah.
face? She hit a great shot. Unfortunately, a ball rolled out about the same time.
Yeah, she actually had a great swing volley as she came in. She had enough room to hit it. She didn't get jammed, so she needed that ball. Oh, so a little too fast on that. So you can see, you know, that difference is how Leigh's hitting that ball. She's hitting that ball with a slice. She's got her tennis backhand right there when she usually hits two hands and swings through, but oh, that serve was out. But
Her mom being a generous mom.
I think she was generous on two of those.
Right. that one on the baseline might have been back too.
Yeah, I think she
4-9.
just said that too. She said hit two out balls. And, you know, recognizing too that we've got a lot, the referee can help with those situations on those line calls.
That is correct. If she can't see it, she doesn't have to make the call. If she couldn't see it, she could ask the
Yeah,
referee.
exactly.
But, you know, she's playing against her daughter. I think
Yeah.
she wants to just
Yeah.
make the fairest call possible.
She's being a little generous. I'd say even on that last one, it's pretty generous. So let's see where we're at, because, I mean,
5-10.
she's really coming back up. You know?
5-10.
But, you
Serve
know,
changes.
it's a super tricky call to make. You know, people
Yeah.
talk a lot about, oh, the ball doesn't compress,
Yeah.
and did it touch the line or not. That's just a very difficult thing
Yep.
to see.
Absolutely.
You don't necessarily know whether the ball, you know, was out in my mind, but maybe
Yeah.
that's a, you know, a tennis player thought that if I can't see a gap, I play it.
Yeah. All right, so it was, you know, what Anna Leigh has been doing really well is she's been returning really deep to that backhand on Leigh's side, and it's been really kicking her back and point, just like she just did. She painted those corners on those last two balls, and then she had this put away, and it's the easy shot that she missed. You know, she just rushed right through it instead of just taking an extra second and finishing that shot.
What could she do up there up front? Maybe take another breath when she's going to hit that
Yeah.
ball? I mean, what could she do, Sarah?
I think a lot of times when people are transitioning forward, I got to get to the net. And what happens more often than not is they jam themselves. So even just coming in a little bit slower so they have the room to move into the ball, to see the ball, just gauging that tempo a little bit. It's not a very big court. So when you run up that fast, you can really get in trouble and jam yourself.
Well, you know, the fortunate thing for Anna Leigh is she's definitely got a good role model in her
gosh, yeah.
mom, who does come up and stay very calm,
Yeah.
very cool and collected. And I'm guessing, you know, that's a lot about her NCAA
Yeah.
tennis background. Keeps her very calm.
I know we've talked a little bit, especially since I've moved to South Carolina. She's told me about some of the academies she played out when she was a junior. You know, she's got some great tennis experience, and her demeanor shows that. That's
That was a
fantastic
great point.
Yeah.
Fantastic point. Did you see Anna stayed much calmer
Yeah,
there?
yeah, totally.
She didn't rush it. Once she gets up there, she seems to settle down. It's
Yeah.
the transition it
It's
looks
hitting
like to me.
that's always the hard shot for people, is that first ball as you come forward. Same thing happens off the third shot drop. It's the fourth shot that's a lot harder than people realize. It's that extra second to take. You get there, gives you a little bit more calmness. That's a good timeout from Leigh.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, her
She
daughter
had-
was coming back.
Yeah.
Her momentum was shifting.
And you think there too, I mean, Leigh's got 10 points, and she played a couple out balls, so that's kind
Right.
of tough.
It's like, well, we're glad to have you all on the broadcast, live stream here. Christine and Sarah, Craig Bell, Tex-Mex Productions. Want to shout out to everybody here with the Texas Open, the first annual pickleball tournament, about 300 players, 25 states represented, 2.5 through pro level. Great 490 matches to run in 3 days. That's
amazing.
amazing, isn't it? It's going to be great.
Well, and you see a lot of communities like this. You know, these are great facilities, and I think, Craig, you have a beautiful club as well that's starting to play
Yes.
pickleball,
Oh,
correct?
yeah. We play pickleball.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been out there once, and they've got beautiful courts. And what's great about all these tennis clubs jumping on board with pickleball is a lot of these are designed with bigger space to watch and the
Yes.
viewing, and it means more courts for everybody, which is great.
And it looks like the camera's over here on
Oh.
us. We got to watch. We got to get
Look
it
at that
back on
ball.
the match.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
gonna make it.
Oh, what
wow.
a great
Nice shot.
shot.
Well, and,
Great
and right
shot.
there, that's a prime example of that wind, you know, because realistically, a couple of these balls on the other side would probably sail out, but they're diving right in.
I think she just made a great shot choice.
Oh,
If
yeah.
she'd have tried to drive that, it would have been tough to get around.
Well, you
Leigh.
can even see those last few shots she hit as she's coming forward. She took her time a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't just run right through them, but she moved through them a lot more controlled. She's getting more net clearance from that and more consistency.
If she's a smart girl, she'd be listening to us. She'd get some free Sarah coaching right now while she's playing.
She might be.
That she shouldn't
She
be
might
getting
be
while she's
listening
on
a
the
little
court
bit.
in the middle of a match.
And right
but-
there, that's
Oh,
it right there.
She pulled that
So
game
she came
out.
back from 5-10,
Yes.
and you gotta be. You can see it on Leigh's face. A couple of those points. You know, I think if it would have been anybody else on the court, it might have been a little different.
Right.
But you know, I think that there's a good chance. So this is our semis. I think there might be a good chance of seeing them again.
See them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, the one thing you gotta think, you gotta figure, Mom, as much as she wants to win, is probably cheering for her daughter in that match.
exactly.
think
I
so.
would be.
I
Right.
mean, absolutely. I mean, Leigh's obviously her biggest fan. Every match she's
Right?
out there, she's.
I'd be pulling for her, wanting her
know.
to win. So I wonder what match we have coming up next. Do we have an inkling on
not
that?
yet.
To this, we want to keep some people watching.
Right. Well, I think we're going to let's go to a break just for a second, D-Mac, and then we'll re-rack here in about 2 minutes and see who's going to be on the court, because I need to go check with the next our volunteer, who's Joelle, who's helping me with the next match status.
All right.
So
Well, let's find out who we got coming up.
we'll be right back here from Coppell, Texas. Just hold on for a second, and we'll return shortly.